The Dyatlov Pass Incident. On the night of February 1, 1959, 9 experienced hikers from the Ural Polytechnical Institute mysteriously perished in the freezing Ural Mountains of Soviet Russia under circumstances that have baffled investigators for decades. The group, led by Igor Dyatlov, had set up camp on the slopes of Kholat Syakhl, but something caused them to flee their tents in a panic, some in only their socks or underwear, into the harsh, snowy terrain. When their bodies were discovered weeks later, several had suffered gruesome injuries, including crushed skulls and broken ribs, yet with no external wounds, while others showed signs of extreme radiation. One hiker was missing her tongue and eyes, adding to the mystery. Soviet investigators concluded that an unknown compelling force was responsible, but they failed to specify what that force could be. Theories over the years have ranged from a secret military weapon test, infrasound-induced panic, an avalanche, though evidence suggests otherwise, to even paranormal forces or a Yeti attack. In 2020, Russian authorities officially ruled the cause as an avalanche, but many experts and enthusiasts remain unconvinced, believing the true cause of the Dyatlov Pass incident is still an unsolved enigma. The Lost Colony of Roanoke. In 1587, a group of around 115 English settlers, led by John White, arrived on Roanoke Island, present-day North Carolina, to establish a permanent colony. Shortly after their arrival, White returned to England to gather more supplies, but due to war with Spain, he was delayed for 3 years. When he finally returned in 1590, he found the colony completely abandoned. No bodies, no signs of struggle, just empty buildings and a single word, Croton, carved into a tree. The nearby fort was dismantled, and no sign of the settlers was ever found. White had instructed the settlers to carve a cross if they were in danger, but none was present. Various theories attempt to explain their fate. Some believe they assimilated with the local Croatoan tribe, while others suggest they were killed by hostile Native Americans or Spanish forces. More extreme theories propose starvation, disease, or even supernatural forces. Despite archaeological searches and historical research, no definitive evidence has been found, making the fate of the Roanoke colonists one of the greatest mysteries in American history. The Voynich Manuscript. Discovered in 1912 by rare book dealer Wilfrid Voynich, the Voynich Manuscript is a 240-page book written in an entirely unknown language and filled with bizarre, unidentifiable botanical illustrations, astronomical charts, and strange humanoid figures. Carbon dating suggests it was created in the early 1400s, but its origins, authorship, and purpose remain a mystery. Despite attempts by cryptographers, linguists, and even the NSA, the script has never been deciphered, leading to speculation that it could be a sophisticated hoax, a lost alchemical text, or even an alien artifact. Some theories suggest it was a coded medical or herbal guide, while others argue it's a completely fabricated language with no real meaning. The manuscript includes drawings of plants that don't exist, astronomical symbols that don't match known systems, and nude women in peculiar, tube-like structures, adding to its enigma. Over a century after its discovery, no one has been able to crack the Voynich Manuscript's code, making it one of the most puzzling texts in history. The Mary Celeste. On December 4, 1872, the Mary Celeste, a merchant brigantine, was found adrift in the Atlantic Ocean between the Azores and Portugal with no crew on board, despite being in seaworthy condition. The ship had left New York City a month earlier, carrying a cargo of denatured alcohol and a crew of 10, including Captain Benjamin Briggs, his wife, and their 2-year-old daughter. When discovered by the crew of the British ship Dei Gratia, the Mary Celeste's sails were partially set, the cargo was intact, and provisions for 6 months remained untouched, yet there was no trace of the crew. The only clues were a missing lifeboat and some water in the ship's lower decks. There were no signs of struggle, piracy, or extreme weather, leaving investigators puzzled. Theories range from a mutiny, a pirate attack, or a waterspout disaster to more bizarre explanations like sea monsters or paranormal activity. Some suggest that Captain Briggs may have abandoned ship, fearing an explosion from alcohol fumes, though no evidence supports this. To this day, the fate of the Mary Celeste's crew remains one of the most famous maritime mysteries in history. The Dancing Plague of 1518. In July 1518, the Dancing Plague broke out in Strasbourg, a city in the Holy Roman Empire, modern-day France, when a woman named Frau Trophea began dancing uncontrollably in the streets. Within days, dozens of others joined her, and within a month, the number of dancers had grown to around 400. People danced endlessly for days and weeks, some collapsing from exhaustion, suffering heart attacks, or even dying from strokes. Physicians of the time ruled out supernatural causes and believed it was due to hot blood, recommending that the afflicted continue dancing to exhaust themselves. The town even hired musicians and built stages to accommodate the bizarre phenomenon, but this only worsened the crisis. Theories behind the event vary, with some historians believing it was caused by mass hysteria due to extreme stress and famine, while others suggest ergot poisoning, a hallucinogenic mold found in rye that can cause convulsions and delusions. However, no definitive explanation exists for why hundreds of people danced themselves to death, making the Dancing Plague of 1518 one of the strangest and most unexplained events in history. The Zodiac Killer. Between the late 1960s and early 1970s, an unidentified serial killer known as the Zodiac Killer terrorized Northern California, taunting police and the media with cryptic letters, ciphers, and chilling phone calls. The killer first struck in 1968, murdering 2 teenagers near Vallejo, followed by a series of attacks in which he targeted couples in secluded areas, often leaving survivors to recount the horror. He took credit for at least 5 confirmed murders, though he claimed to have killed 37 people. What made the Zodiac case especially eerie was his taunting letters sent to newspapers, which included complex ciphers, disturbing threats, and a strange symbol resembling a crosshair. Some of his coded messages remain unsolved, including one that allegedly contains his identity. Despite an extensive police investigation, hundreds of suspects, and numerous theories, the Zodiac Killer was never caught. Over the decades, suspects have ranged from known criminals to military personnel and even school teachers, but no concrete evidence has ever linked anyone definitively to the crimes. The case remains one of the most infamous unsolved serial killer mysteries, with new theories and potential clues still emerging today. The disappearance of Flight MH370. On March 8, 2014, Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370, carrying 239 passengers and crew, mysteriously vanished while en route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. Approximately 40 minutes after takeoff, the aircraft suddenly deviated from its flight path, communication was lost, and it disappeared from radar. Despite extensive international search efforts, no wreckage was found for over a year until debris washed up on distant shores, such as a wing flaperon discovered on Réunion Island in 2015. Investigators determined that the plane likely flew for several more hours after losing contact before crashing into the southern Indian Ocean, but no definitive cause has been established. Theories range from pilot suicide, as Captain Zaharieh Ahmad Shah's flight simulator allegedly showed a similar route, to a hijacking, an electrical failure, or even a military shootdown. Some more speculative ideas suggest a deliberate government cover-up or even alien abduction. Despite the most expensive and extensive search in aviation history, Flight MH370's disappearance remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of modern times, leaving families and experts still searching for answers. The WOW signal. On August 15, 1977, astronomer Jerry Eman, working with Ohio State University's Big Ear Radio Telescope, detected a mysterious 72-second radio signal from deep space that has never been explained. The signal, which appeared to come from the direction of the Sagittarius constellation, was so extraordinary that Eman circled it on the printout and wrote "Wow" in red ink, giving the event its name. The signal had all the characteristics of an intentional, narrowband radio transmission, something that natural cosmic sources do not typically produce, leading some to speculate that it could be evidence of extraterrestrial intelligence. However, despite repeated attempts to detect it again, the signal was never observed a second time, making it impossible to verify. Over the years, scientists have proposed alternative explanations, including signals bouncing off space debris, an unknown astronomical event, or even a human-made transmission from Earth that was accidentally reflected back. Yet, none of these theories fully explain the unique frequency and intensity of the WOW signal, leaving it one of the most tantalizing unsolved mysteries in the search for alien life. The Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle, also known as the Devil's Triangle, is a mysterious region in the western Atlantic Ocean, bounded by Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, where ships, planes, and people have allegedly vanished under unexplained circumstances. Reports of strange disappearances date back to the 19th century, with one of the most famous cases being Flight 19 in 1945, where 5 U.S. Navy bombers disappeared during a training flight, along with a rescue plane sent after them. Other cases include the USS Cyclops, 1918, which vanished with 309 crew members, and commercial flights like Flight DC-3, 1948, which disappeared without a trace. Theories attempting to explain the mystery range from magnetic anomalies that interfere with navigation, underwater methane gas eruptions, and rogue waves, to more speculative ideas such as time warps, alien abductions, or lost technology from Atlantis. While skeptics argue that disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle are no more frequent than in other heavily traveled areas, the eerie nature of these incidents, often involving no distress signals or wreckage, continues to fuel one of the most famous and enduring mysteries in history, the Taos Hum. In the small town of Taos, New Mexico, a strange, low-frequency humming noise has been reported by residents and visitors for decades, earning the name the Taos Hum. First widely documented in the 1990s, this mysterious sound is described as a persistent, droning buzz that only a small percentage of people, around 2% to 10% of the population, can hear. Theories attempting to explain the phenomenon range from industrial machinery, underground gas pipelines, and secret military experiments, to more bizarre ideas like mind control devices or extraterrestrial signals. Scientific investigations, including studies by researchers from Los Alamos National Laboratory and the University of New Mexico, have failed to pinpoint a definitive source of the noise. While some attribute it to tinnitus, a medical condition causing ringing in the ears, others argue that the geographical consistency of reports suggests an external origin. Despite years of study and speculation, the Taos Hum remains an unexplained acoustic mystery that continues to baffle both scientists and those who claim to hear it. I know you were expecting more video like this. So, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. Your support means the world, and it helps me bringing you more content.